Blimey, that was pretty moody, wasn't it? Fingers crossed it is actually still streaming. This is the first time I've done this for a while. Hello, everybody. Welcome to London Vegans if you're new here. If you are not new here, welcome back to London Vegans. My name is Phil, and I'm so happy to be able to chat to these guys. It's been about a year, I think, since we did the last one. Leo and Ivy, they are a year of vegan eats. I think.
Hi.
You've got so
Hello.
many different names now, haven't you? All over Instagram and YouTube. But the YouTube channel... you're taking a little bit of a breather of that, but you're constantly going on Instagram, but you both have different profiles as well, don't you? Anyway, how are you? It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's amazing to see you as well. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was so much fun last time, and I really wanted to do these like live streams every Tuesday just to kind of chat about veganism and lifestyle, animal welfare, and all the rest of it. So I couldn't think of anyone better than to start this series off with you two. So yeah, thank you for coming on. So how the devil have you been? Tell everyone, if they're new to you, who you are and what you do, where you live. You live in Edinburgh.
We do. We live in Edinburgh. We are a year of vegan eats, or were a year of vegan eats. That, as you say, has gone a bit on a break because what we would do is we would travel and tell you about what is happening in those areas, but obviously you can't really travel now. So and a lot of the things I would post would be recipes inspired by places we'd been, so ingredients we'd found, things we'd eaten, like all sorts of things. Like when we went to Thailand, for example, one of the ladies in Bangkok kindly let me get in her kitchen while she was cooking, so I could then translate that and bring that back and show you how to make that. But yeah, that's all kind of gone on hold for now because we can't travel. But when we travel, it will be back. So Instagram is now more focused on recipe testing for the company that I work for, which is Easter Greens, which is Edinburgh's first and only 100% plant-based grocers. And
applause.
Things I take home from there. Like sometimes there's a very sad turnip that needs a home, so I take it home and make something with it.
The sad turnip. I love that. So you're vegan food enthusiast, but you're also travel enthusiast, as you said, and you must be so frustrated by not being able to get out. But that's a good thing, isn't it? That's the joy of having both those passions, because you can concentrate on the food when you're not traveling. Obviously, you haven't been able to travel, but yeah, it's been a funny old year, isn't it? How have you found the last year and a half?
We've both been very, very fortunate. Leo is a nurse, so has been in high demand, and I work in a grocery shop. So both of us have been key workers. Both of us have kept our jobs, which is, let's face it, a rare thing at the moment for a lot of people, unfortunately. So we've been kept out of mischief. We've been kept busy, and we've worked through the entire thing.
Yeah.
So time has taken on a whole new meaning. It just, like, has it been a year? Are we still in 2020? What's happening? What day is it? I don't know.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? Because I take our rescue dog Teddy out for a walk, and I mean Jeremy has been taking him more recently, especially early mornings, because I'm not a morning person at all. But whenever I see people, they always say to me, "How was your weekend? What were you up to?" And I was like, the same as every other day, because it all blends in to each other, doesn't it? It's mad.
I've found that happens with me anyway, because I only work 3 days a week, and it is very much that, thanks. It's Tuesday today. Yeah, it'll be Wednesday that happens. He said, looking like he almost knows what he's talking about. But yeah, the weeks are very much running one into another, and the months, and the days, and everything. And it is one of the things that we were talking about this the other day. This is the longest time we have spent in any one place in the 10 years we've been together.
Yeah.
So we have spent a year and a quarter in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And
even to the point where yesterday it was 10 years since I moved to Edinburgh. And something stupid like 7 of those were celebrated not in Edinburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I've moved to Edinburgh, let's celebrate in London. Let's celebrate, I think we did it in Belgium once.
Yeah.
It was always like, let's celebrate that I've moved to Edinburgh, but not in Edinburgh.
So tell us... go on. Yeah, no, go on, Liam.
No, I was just saying that it's just been really weird that because normally we would go through to Glasgow, but we can't because Glasgow's in a different tier. So we've not been able to go in through to Glasgow. And there's been a couple of times it's that, yeah, let's go do that. And it's that, nope. Can't.
Glasgow seems exotic right now.
Yeah. It's just, it's been life-changing, isn't it? I mean, for so many reasons. I mean, obviously, a lot of people have been affected badly by the lockdown as well. I mean, some people, you know, like you were saying, it's good to be creative and to keep busy, because I've found that that's kind of what has got me through lockdown, is just to keep pushing stuff out there. I mean, admittedly, I haven't really been doing much on the London Vegans channel until now. So, this is all... I mean, that's why I've got the beer, because it was pretty nerve-wracking just starting this, because I was chatting to you just before we went live. It's, it's so, like, nerve-wracking to go live and just to double-check that everything works. But hopefully stuff is working. Hopefully there's people watching. If you are watching, do comment, and hopefully we can share some of those comments and questions as well, if you're up for being asked some stuff.
Yeah.
So I think the question, I mean, I might have touched on this last time I spoke to you, was the start of your vegan journey. Can you tell us about like when and why you decided to go vegan originally?
You went first?
Yeah, I did. So it was the year we got married. We ate a lot of rich food that year. And a friend of mine, or a friend of yours, a friend of ours, was bugging me, like proper militant vegan style, like just bugging the hell out of me. And in the end, I was like, fine, I've eaten too much rich food this year. I give in. I will be vegan until the end of the year. And that's where a year of vegan eats comes from, because it was I only intend to do this until the end of the year. And then a couple of months into it, our cat unfortunately died. She died in my arms. And it was that moment of just... I can see how much pain and suffering she's going through right now. How can I be so broken and cut up about my cat and not the animals that I would be eating? It was that just moment of, that now it suddenly makes sense. And from that point onwards, for me, it was like, that's it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And it is very kind of easy for me to kind of stick to that. Like every time... We've all had that thing of like, I really fancy a fried egg sandwich or something. This cat meant so much to me that I think of her, and it's really easy to do it for her and for the animals. The militant vegan won.
I had a similar situation with Polly, who obviously we've not been doing the channel because she's moved, to near Oxford. But yeah, she kept telling me to go vegan, and it never really sunk in. I mean, I was vegetarian, but I didn't really see any more than that. I just thought I was doing the best that I could do, but obviously I wasn't. And it was like a light had just gone off. It was pretty much overnight, and it was Veganuary. So it kind of helped that it was that. And yeah, I'm fascinated to hear your story about that's how a year of vegan eats, where you got the name from. Because I never knew that.
Yeah, there you go.
I was a wee bit behind you. We went to a talk by Michael Mosley, the doctor who does Trust Me, I'm a Doctor, and he did a talk of all things. And at the end of it, he just said, if you want to do the best for your health, have a genuine Mediterranean diet, or if you want it easier still, cut out meat. So I did. And I was vegetarian whilst you were vegan. And it was one of those things of, I was thinking, I'm probably going to go vegan at some point. I'm kind of working myself up to it. And there was a documentary on the Beeb called The Chicken People, which showed how chicken farms are run in the United Kingdom. And what's really weird is that every time you see footage of that, it's always hidden footage and it's always in America, and you allow yourself this disconnect of, but it's not like that here. The difference is that they were the film crew were welcomed with open arms, and it was, this is how we do it. And it was just after watching that, it was I'm not eating an egg ever again.
Well, they were proud of it, and it was awful. It was such a horrible documentary.
And it was that, well, let's face it, the dairy industry is not going to be any better, if not worse. Yeah. And I was kind of holding on, is that we're going to Paris in the February. I'm going to have a blowout that is baguettes and cheese and butter. And then I'll go vegan. But it was Christmas Day. We had an entirely vegan Christmas. And it was very much that if I can be vegan on Christmas Day of all days, I can be vegan the rest of the year.
Exactly. That's the thing, isn't it? It makes it much easier, doesn't it? When you think of it in that light, it's easier to kind of understand how you can go forward and be
you've
more
been
vegan.
really, really lucky because you went vegan before me. I kind of was eased into it because I was never, oh, you're vegan, but I'm not eating that. Of course I'll eat what you've made for dinner. And when we went shopping, I just got into the habit of going, you can have this. And so it meant that when I actually went vegan, I didn't have that sort of period of adjustment of going, oh, can I have this? Can't I have this? And I much like with you, there's nothing I miss. So
especially now Vegan Horlicks is out.
Yeah, what do you think of it? Because I was a little bit disappointed because it wasn't as malty as I wanted it to be, but I'm still glad that I was able to have it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to say hello to Amanda. I think it might be a friend of yours, Amanda Greenslade.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda.
Hope you're well. Are you friends or?
I'm terrible with names, I have to admit.
Well, what I have to say is I hope you're well,
yes.
Amanda.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe because we've got these chats every Tuesday night. There's so many interesting people to talk to as well. Next week, we're going to be chatting to singer and songwriter Conleth Kane, who's a very good friend of mine from London. But so many questions to ask you guys as well because... we covered a lot of it last year, but I think, we can still probably ask you the same questions because I think it's probably good. Yeah, maybe different answers this time. But I've got to say, I love your photographs that you post. I've always been a fan of how you kind of represent food as well, because you always manage to look food, even though it's not necessarily a meal that I would have, maybe the style of food that I would have, it always looks delicious. You've got a knack for making food look so mouth-watering. Is it down to you, Ivy? Is it? Do you both take photos as well?
I do.
You do sometimes.
I'm not as good as you. I lack the critical eye. My photographs are just not as good. Full stop. Whereas you've got a much better eye for composition. For it. However, there have been times like when I've cooked, it will be this one's yours because it's the nicer looking of the two plates. But you can have that one because I know that what's the point in giving you the uglier looking dish, which means it's more work for you. Whereas if I give you the nicer looking dish, you can make that shine and pop. Whereas I'll be like,
that's love, isn't it?
More thrown together, but
romance is not dead.
Exactly.
It gives me something to do. Again, it's like it's giving me that focus. It's something extra, something creative to do, especially during lockdown. Just trying to make things look a bit pretty.
They look amazing. Let's just go to one picture actually here. Tell us what dishes these are, because these just stood out. I mean, these are recent ones. You've got so many other photographs from the last few years. I mean, when did you start doing this? Is it 5 years? More than 5 years.
6 years in September.
Okay.
Is when I went vegan.
Yeah.
So it would have been towards the end of that year, yeah. Well, funny enough, the photos that you've picked feature the sad turnip.
Oh, see, not so sad after all.
Exactly. So let's start off with the other one. The other one was a classic example of here is a recipe in a book, but I'm going to take that, completely ignore it, and do what I want to do with it. And it was like a stuffed pepper roasted. No, it wasn't even pepper. It was like a roasted vegetable of some sort in pomegranate molasses.
No.
With walnuts and this like intricate sauce, and it's like, I've not got time for that. So I'm going to throw the peppers in the George Foreman. I'm going to take the idea of the sauce, but I'm going to just cook bulgur wheat in with it and throw some extra stuff on top because, yeah, we've got half an avocado that needs used and we've got some greens that need used. So that was very much cobbled together what we've got plus a recipe that I just can't be bothered with. And the other one was the sad turnip from work. So we have a discount bin where, you know, if a vegetable's not perfect or if it's got a squishy bit or if it's just looking a bit wrinkled and needs some love, it goes in the discount bin. But obviously there are some things that people just don't want. And this was a sad little turnip.
Nobody wanted the sad turnip.
Yeah, we call it a neep here. Or a Swede, or a turnip. It has too many names. Or a rutabaga, if you are so inclined. I think rutabaga is the best one. But it was all wrinkly and just kind of sad. So I made it into gnocchi, which has become one of my favourite things. Because any root vegetable, plus I use gluten-free flour because it's starchy and it kind of glues things together better. That was made into gnocchi along with some greens with a jar of pesto that I accidentally knocked off the shelf at work and felt bad. So I took it home and like bought it because I was like, I'm really sorry. It's not smashed, it's popped. And I'm like, I can't put it back on the shelf. I'll buy it and have it for dinner.
I love how your recipes just are a story in themselves. It's like there's a reason for cooking. Because I know, Leo, I think I read somewhere that you like to go buy recipe books. I think you bought a recipe book for your birthday. Was it this year, last year?
I have been bought many recipe books. This is the one thing which I quote miss unquote from my pre-vegan days was that I had a limited-ish range, but cooking within that range, I was comfortable and confident. But the problem is, and it's not really a problem, is that Ivy's a much more creative cook than I am. And I'm very much a recipe very much it says that we need this, we don't have this. And you'll immediately go, doesn't matter, we've got something completely different instead, that'll do. And it
just doesn't compute.
Yeah, my brain just can't make those jumps. And I'm very much I will follow a recipe, and I guess that in that respect, I have the patience to do things. It's like I've not done for a while.
Leo makes his own laminated dough. So we'll make croissants and quigamon. You've made incredible patisserie.
No.
If you want a chunk of cake, I can make you a chunk of cake. Give me 45 minutes, it will be there. It won't be pretty, but it will be there.
Yeah.
You do the intricate little fiddly things that I just don't have the patience for.
If you want quigamon, I will make you it. It will take me all day, but I can. So with that, we have two very sort of
we're polar opposites in that
disparate approaches.
Yeah.
But also because you're such an enthusiastic cook, I've been more than happy for you to do the cooking, and I've been really lazy, and I'm trying to get back into it. And recipes kind of help with that. So it's I can try something different, and I've got a map to follow.
See, my other half, Jeremy, will always say to me, because he hates using recipe books, and I'm the opposite, and I can't deviate from a recipe. So, like, if I'm reading it from a book, and he'll say to me, "Oh, just add this or just take away that," and I'm like, "No, it has to be everything." I'm so meticulous about it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Leo has got better at the recipe calls for 1 garlic clove to be like, that's cute, I'm putting 3 in. What are you converting you?
But the thing is that I know you like garlic, and I like garlic. Garlic's amazing. We're like, oh.
We've got to talk about Edinburgh, because obviously that's where you live. You have lived there for a long time.
Yeah.
How long have you lived there now? You said, I think, at the beginning, but is it 10
I've
years?
lived here 10 years, like yesterday or today, and you've been here your entire life.
Yep.
Because we got a question from Michael saying, a statement saying Edinburgh is a beautiful city. I've never been. I've been to Glasgow, Aberdeen, but never to Edinburgh. So I think it's about time I got up there. But what is it like for vegan food and for the vegan lifestyle? Is it a great place to be?
It is. Like Edinburgh, first of all, you do definitely have to visit, because Edinburgh is a beautiful city. We've got water, hills, green space, city. It's everything in one. Yeah, we've even got a beach. We've got everything, and that's what I love about it, that it's a city that has literally everything. And it's really getting there with vegan stuff. Yeah. Like we've got 2 100% vegan Italians that are run by
don't ask, I don't know, can't remember.
Maddie runs it, and she's from Rome, and it's proper Italian food made entirely vegan. There is Black Rabbit, shout out to Black Rabbit, who are a little cafe, and they make everything from scratch. They make cruffins every day, cakes, sandwiches, totally vegan. What else is there?
Paradise Palms.
Paradise Palms is junk food, yeah. We also have the Old Hoos, which doesn't work in my accent.
The Old Hoos.
There we go. They do the biggest nachos in Edinburgh, and they have a vegan version. Seriously, it's like massive.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. There is so much vegan food. It's just,
we're spoiled.
We really are.
Has that progressively got a lot better over, say, the last few years? Because obviously veganism is booming, isn't it? I mean, in supermarkets, you go in and you just see so much vegan, so many vegan options now. But I did actually do a poll on our Twitter recently, because I know obviously travel is a passion for you, although you've not been able to do that just recently. But for the 4 destinations that we suggested, Amsterdam came up top, but Lisbon was down the bottom. It's back to the turnip again. Nobody voted for Lisbon. Istanbul did okay, 25% of the votes. Kathmandu, 25%. But Amsterdam, everybody wants tips and info on what it's like to be vegan in Amsterdam. When was it you went?
It was easy. We went February
last year.
Yeah, we went not long before lockdown, and it was starting to get a bit
dicey.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, we're in an airport, we're like, should we be here? This is a bit so it's working its way around the UK now. But have you seen the vegan sashimi?
No.
So there's a brand, it comes in a block, and it's a brand of vegan sashimi, and it's made by the guys at the Vegan Junk Food Bar who are in Amsterdam. And they also do the prawns and everything. Like, seriously, this stuff is amazing. It's really like sashimi. However, you can't heat it up because it will melt. I have seen people who are like, why can't I cook it? Because it's meant to be raw. Like, don't cook it, it's jelly.
Yeah.
The Vegan Junk Food Bar is one of the big ones in Amsterdam.
Nice.
Mao's is another one. It's a little falafel bar, which I know, like, every vegan kind of goes, falafel.
Yes, so over falafel, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it? If it's done properly, if it's cooked properly, and it's authentic,
they have falafel, but they also have battered fried aubergine slices that are the damage. They are so good. But the thing you go to Mao's for is it's a DIY salad bar, and it's not, like, lettuce and carrot and boring, and it's like pickled things, and they've actually put thought into it, and that's the thing I find exciting. Like, I am not a salad bowl kind of person, but I will go there and fill it with just random vegetables and be like, this is so exciting, with a fried thing on top.
Well, the thing which I really like about them is that there's been a couple of times when we were there that we timed it perfectly, and it was that we will have the falafel wrap or salad bowl or whatever, and they've had to make the falafel there and then, and they literally just have this mound.
Yeah,
I'm serving it. It's a bowl that's huge, and and they're just going scoop, scoop, scoop into the fryer,
and they are
and it's literally. I mean, you couldn't get it any fresher, and you're just like, oh my sweet lord, this is amazing. But and
there's a lot of more vegan options now in Amsterdam. Like the first time I went, like before we even met, it was Maus. That's all you got. You went to Maus and that was it.
Yeah.
But now it's getting more and more like we just went to go and sit in cafes and drink coffee and drink tea and read books and pretty much and pet dogs. And every time we went to a cafe, they'd have some kind of new cake and it'd be vegan, and it's much like Edinburgh where you're getting more and more and more things pop up.
Yeah.
And there was this White Label, was it?
Yeah.
A cafe called White Label, and they had this tea cake. Because there's this cake you get in Holland where it's eaten for breakfast and it's got chunks of sugar on top, and that's the kind of culture I can get on board with, where you have like slices of cake for breakfast.
Cake for breakfast, I love that. That's a dream come true.
Oh,
and pizza,
amazing.
Cold pizza.
Cold pizza is like beautiful the next day. But this one, it was walnut and fig, just about held together with little bits of cake. Like it was mainly fruit and nut glued together with cake. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I came home and they reverse engineered it and we ate it for like a couple of months. I was so obsessed with
I was cool with that.
That sounds so good.
Cool. Yeah.
Are you guys into like the festivals? Because I know, a lot of the festivals have been cancelled over the last year or so, but here in London, Veg Fest, Just V Show, Vegan Life Live, I usually go to all of those, and it can be a bit hot and sweaty walking around these things, because especially if it's like rammed full of people. But I love going to those, and obviously the animal rights walk, the marches, all of that. Do you do those up there? Do you come down to London as well?
We have done a couple of the Edinburgh ones, and there's a big one in Glasgow as well, but we've not done them recently, obviously. But they're hopefully coming back. We've got, hopefully, fingers crossed, Easter Greens, the grocery shop that I work for, will actually be doing them this year. So not only can I walk around them, I can actually meet people and talk to people, which would be really cool.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really exciting. Is it the first time they've done it?
Yeah, because we opened not August, but the August before. So yeah, barely 6 months and went into lockdown, so we've not had the chance. So there's also a lot of markets in Edinburgh. So there's one in Stockbridge, there's one in Leith, and there's one in the Grassmarket. And the one in Leith specifically, I think it's the first or the last Saturday of every month, is the vegan quarter. So all of the stalls are vegan, and you have places like Faceplant, who are over in Glasgow, who do like macaroni cheese and cheese toasties with kimchi in them, and they do all kinds of amazing things. So that's really cool to go to.
I love kimchi. I discovered kimchi for the first time just recently. I've never had it before. I know I'm such a late developer, but I absolutely love it. And I'm not really that mad on garlic, but the kimchi that I bought was just in a jar from a local organic shop, which is just down the road here in Bermondsey. But it's amazing stuff. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
It goes great in a cheese toastie.
Never tried it in a cheese toastie. I'm going to have to do that next.
Kimchi and cheese are like a match made in heaven that I never would have thought of. But they are. Kimchi and cheese go really, really well together.
Brilliant.
Or, if you want the cheap version, which you come up with it, and that is if
I've
you
not
get
done this in a while.
the garlic baguettes that are vegan that you get in supermarkets that you chuck in the oven, you do that, and then halfway through, you take it out and very carefully with tongs, or if you've got asbestos fingers, you just go for it. You shove kimchi into the slots and you chuck it back in the oven, and it all melts. And
put cheese on top.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
So you have a garlic
garlic cheese bread.
Yeah. And I'm hungry now.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say I'm salivating. I've eaten tonight, but I want some of that stuff. Now we got to talk about music, because that's another passion of mine is music. And I was so thrilled to see you, Leo, wearing a Saint Etienne t-shirt. Oh my God. I interviewed Sarah Cracknell a few years ago, and she's the nicest woman ever. Like, she's adorable. I love the band.
I saw them for the first time about 10 years ago through in Glasgow at the ABC, which unfortunately burned down because it's in front of the Glasgow School of Art, which had a fire.
No.
But the thing which was amazing about the ABC is that it had a giant disco ball. Now everyone goes, oh yeah, it's like this one's the size of a beach. No, this thing was like 8 foot across. It was huge, and it's one of the things that she saw this and was like, "This is amazing. You have to get it going. You have to please, Mr. Soundman, put the disco ball on." And apparently, it's one of those things that the venue made all the bands sign a disclaimer that's we will fire up the disco ball if you insist, but you will be charged something ludicrous like £500-600 for it, because it's just a complete pig. But it's amazing, and they've got spotlights that they shine on it, and it almost blinds you, but you don't care because it's amazing. And that Saint Etienne t-shirt was bought at that gig, and we've seen them at the Queen's Hall.
Yeah, we've seen them in Edinburgh.
And they're not quite your cup of you. It was this is okay, this is nice. I've seen them. I can check that
I'm
off.
more a punk person.
Yeah, I am as well. Yeah. I like both actually, but Saint Etienne are just brilliant live. Really good live band. But I mean, a mirror ball, that's perfect for them as well. That's just what they need, isn't it? Hanging above the audience.
Bad Religion wanted the mirror ball going as well when we saw them at the ABC.
I think everyone just sees it and goes, I want it. I want to see it move.
And yeah,
and it like when it's going, like it is no more, unfortunately. Yeah. But when it was going, it was just you just ignored everything else. We were just watching this giant ball.
Mesmeric.
It was amazing.
So you're more into punk stuff. Are you into? Because my real passion is like early '80s synth pop, Human League, Depeche Mode, Soft Cell, all of that. But a lot of punk stuff and post-punk bands like Susie and the Banshees and The Cure. Some less commercial, but amazing. That's my cup of tea completely.
Yeah, I'm more underground. They actually sound kind of awful, but I love them. Kind of punk, like the Anti-Nowhere League are one of my favourite bands. Do you know of them?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, I don't know much of their music, but I remember.
From Royal Tunbridge Wells, no less.
Oh, okay.
Which makes me laugh so much. We're from Royal Tunbridge Wells, and the lead singer is called Animal. And I've lost count of the amount of times I've seen them, but I remember the first time I went with you.
Yeah.
We hadn't been together like a huge amount of time.
No.
And we hadn't been to a huge amount of gigs, but I, much like every time I've seen them, was stood on a chair bellowing at the top of my lungs the lyrics to all kinds of bizarre songs, and you're just looking at me like,
very southern as well.
What the hell is going on?
You're very, very southern.
Yeah, my southern accent comes out when that happens, because they're from not that far away from where I was born. So
where were you born? Because I was born in Kent.
Eastbourne.
Oh, okay, Eastbourne. So yeah, for me it's near Swanley, Crocken Hill, and because people say to me, "Oh, you don't have much of a Kent accent." I was trying desperately to get rid of my Kent accent for so long. Then I grew up in Cornwall as well, and people say you don't sound Cornish. Not that I've got anything about against the Kent accent, but I was really conscious of it when I was growing up because moving to Cornwall.
I hate the estuary accent. Like it's so nasal, and it drops too many letters. Like latte becomes latte. Oh, and whenever we go back, I was just like, nope, don't like it. Also, like I found when I moved here, there were certain words that people just didn't understand that I was trying to say. Like ball was one of them, because it'd be bull. And I'm like, what's a bull? Like a ball. Circular thing, ball. So yeah, that's kind of ironed out some things.
Should talk about the other picture, Leo, as well. Party cannon. Any person that wears a Party Cannon t-shirt is somebody that I want to go out drinking with.
They are the sweetest, loveliest, stupidest band ever. I'm actually wearing the other Party Cannon t-shirt, which has their traditional spiky logo, which you can't work out for the life of you. But yeah, I've seen them a couple of times. Any band that actually genuinely launches party cannons off into the audience has bin bags filled with balloons that they launch into the audience, and just don't take themselves seriously. I remember them posting a video of them at some festival, and they said, if you're not crowd surfing on an inflatable dolphin, then frankly, you're doing it wrong. And yeah, they don't take themselves seriously. They're genuinely sweet and lovely, and fornicating and ethically sourced chocolate.
Fair trade chocolate.
Fair trade
yeah,
chocolate.
That's what it says on the back, which tells you a lot about
I didn't even know they were a band, but I just love the thought of a band that's called Party Cannon. It's brilliant. I just love that t-shirt as well.
Funny enough, like it kind of ties into the travel, because we went a couple of places after you got the t-shirt and you took it with you, and it just happened to be that was the one that you grabbed, and it's now turned into a wherever we go in the world there has to be a picture of you in the Party Cannon t-shirt. So you've even got one in Kathmandu. Blazing sunshine, you've got that black t-shirt on with Party Cannon written on it.
And what are you eating there? Is it tofu fish and chips you've got there in that box?
That will be...
That is Temple of Satan.
Oh, amazing. Love their stuff, yeah. Great food.
Yeah. And the other one, that's Black Rabbit.
The other one's Black Rabbit that we were talking about. You can see a cruffin.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
In front of the fork and the toasty.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, again, salivating.
Sorry.
Talking of food, we're going to stick with food. I mean, there's other things to talk about. I mean, it's not always just about food, but yeah, I can't not talk about food, to be honest. Got to talk about the vegan Kit Kat, because, of course, that's just been launched in Sainsbury's in the news this week. Lots of people have tried it. Have you tried it yet?
No, I've not seen one in Edinburgh yet. I keep seeing messages on all of the kind of Scottish vegan groups being like, has anyone seen it? Has anyone spotted one yet? I don't think anyone's seen one just yet. Sometimes Scotland can be a little bit behind with things delivering, so that's frustrating.
I didn't know about this. I was happy not knowing about this to a degree, because it's one of these weird things that they're...
Were you not too fussed to begin with, but now there is one, you're like, I need it in my life.
Exactly. It was. I remember us talking about things. It was the pre-vegan. I wasn't a fan of Oreos, but because they were all
because I can have them, I will have them.
Exactly, and it's something that's readily available, and you're just like, yes, I can have an Oreo. Yes, I will.
I'm totally going to get a Kit Kat when I see one.
And not a huge fan, but, didn't hate them. And now I just want one so I can dunk it in my coffee. And
oh, no, that's so wrong. So wrong in many ways. The chocolate would just melt in with the coffee. Mind you, that wouldn't be so bad. But
see?
Yeah.
Oh, but if you nibble each end off, you could use it as a straw. Like, did you ever do Tim Tams? Or you could do it with penguins. Did you ever do this?
Yeah, with penguins.
As a straw? Yeah, you could do that. You could just use it as a straw and then just chuck it all in your mouth.
I've gone very out of focus. It's nothing to do with the beer. I just want to add that. It might be the lighting, maybe. That's probably a good thing. Yeah. But yeah, vegan Kit Kats. Again, I've never been overly bothered. They were never my favourite chocolate bar when I wasn't a vegan, but I'm quite curious.
See, I want a Twix. I want a vegan Twix.
Yes, and I was going to say Snickers. Where did Snickers come from? Snickers Marathon, what they used to be. There is a company that do them, which are amazing. I can't remember what they're called.
Go Max Go.
Oh, it's not them. It's something Rebel is in the strapline somewhere.
Ooh.
What are they called? We tried them at. They sent us a box. Oh my god, that's terrible. Yeah, check the previous videos on this channel. You'll find it'll come to me. It'll come to me. But they are really good.
Yeah, because we recently got the Go Max Go brand at work, which do the like Joker bar and the Buccaneer and things like that, which are like Snickers. They're more American because one of them's like an Almond Joy, Snickers, Milky Way, peanut butter cups, which I'm slowly working my way through them.
Yeah.
Never mind that. What about the people that do the Kinder Buenos?
Oh yeah, the Love Raw hazelnut wafer things.
Oh.
I didn't realise that I liked Kinder Buenos so much until a vegan version came out.
I genuinely did not like Kinder Buenos at all, but it was like, oh, it's a vegan Kinder Bueno. I'm like, oh,
and now we eat far too many of them.
And it's just the one that is dangerous for me is the Rhythm 108.
Oh, they're like kind of nutty chocolate bars, aren't they?
I was a huge fan of the navy blue nougat or praline Ritter Sports.
Yeah.
Praline is good.
Mm-hmm.
I just want chocolate now. I've got no chocolate in the house. That's my downfall. Chocolate, ice cream, and crisps, potato crisps, or any. Actually, what are those crisps that you always find in like corner shops? They will stock them everywhere.
Oh, like
maybe lentils.
Yeah, I know, like the 10p ones.
No, they're like £1 usually. They do them in big bags. Is it Eat Real? Really?
Yeah. Oh god, if it's Eat Real, like we have them at work and
they're like maybe lentils. I think.
Dangerous.
God,
yeah, the Eat Real ones are amazing.
Seriously addictive. Did you hear about Vans as well? You know, the footwear brand. They've just launched their first vegan and eco-friendly shoe collection. It's called Eco Theory. Because I've been through so many, because I wear a lot of those Converse type shoes, and I've been through and they always wear through the soles always get holy after like a few months. But yeah, I don't know because is it a good idea to go for these bigger brands? Because it's good to support the vegan companies, isn't it? But you can't always buy stuff, I guess.
Well, I guess I've got the feet.
Yeah, free.
Yeah, which I really like. But to be honest, day to day, I have Doc Martens and I practically live in them because they last so long. But then it does mean that we can also support smaller businesses by getting kind of other pairs that we can then wear when we're not out and about working. Yeah. So it's like a bit of both rather than just keep going through shoes and shoes and shoes and shoes.
Yeah.
Because it's just so wasteful.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about your YouTube channel when you were posting travel vlogs, because you would always do videos about packing your clothes. And I kind of I admire you so many ways because I'm just so rubbish at being organised like that. And it taught me a few things, how to think about what you're packing as well. Because when you travel, I mean, one of my the things that I always do are overpacking and just packing too much stuff that I just never wear.
No.
I must admit, I don't think we did a video for it because it was just ridiculous at the time. But when we went to Istanbul, there was a lot happening at the time. I didn't know if I was still going to be at my job by the time I came home because there was a long story there. And it got to like the day before, I was like, do you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm throwing some pants and socks, a t-shirt in a bag. If it's not enough, then I'll figure it out. If it's enough, brilliant. But yeah, we kind of got to that point. Like the last big one we did was Kathmandu.
Yeah.
And I took at least, I can't remember what you packed.
Not a lot.
What I was wearing to the airport, so jumper and things, because it was kind of cold. 2 pairs of trousers, 2 tops, 2 underwear. That was it.
Yeah.
We packed like nothing. And it was fine. It was absolutely fine. But we've been quite lucky that we go to warmer places. If we go to colder places, then you kind of have to pack a lot more.
Yeah.
We've just kind of gone for the warmer.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pack as much. And
Yeah.
if you wash it and it's dry by the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite place that you've been to on your travels?
Japan.
Japan.
Japan. Hands down, Japan.
For what reason? Is it because, I mean, it's such a beautiful place anyway, but...
It's everything. A friend of mine summed it up quite beautifully after I'd sort of sent him a bunch of pictures and videos because he'd asked, and he just said that he's convinced that Japan is actually a different planet, and that it's almost like Earth, but it's just sufficiently different, weird, strange, wonderful, and has that sense of amazement that makes it completely different. And yeah, it's
just all the little things. Like when you're on a train, like I'm not a train nerd or anything, but this just makes me smile. When it gets to the other end and they're preparing it to go back, like so when we were going from like Tokyo to Kyoto, for example, they put this little string over for the cleaning ladies, and it had a little logo of someone bowing, being like, "I'm sorry, we're cleaning." You're like, that's so adorable in itself. And what they would do is they would go through and clean the train, but they switch all the seats around, so all the seats swivel so that they're all facing forward. And if you get on with a bunch of people, you can turn it round so you're all turned towards each other. There's space for you to recline. Like, we are both larger mammals.
No.
Even more so compared to your typical Japanese person. But I could sit on the train with a giant rucksack in front of me. This was before our minimalist packing and when we were buying far too much. I could sit with that in front of me and still have knee room.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. And whenever you'd have a member of staff coming through the train, they'd open the door, they'd bow to everyone in the train, go to the other end, turn around, bow.
It's respect, isn't it? Yeah, very respectful.
Yeah, it's so polite and respectful, and everyone is just so lovely.
My favourite one of those was we were waiting on a train and I was a bit peckish and I was like, I'll go to the convenience store on the platform and see if they've got anything. And I walked in, and whenever anyone walks into a convenience store, the staff always greet them. And again, this is just a very Japanese thing. And nobody responds to them. It's just you're being greeted and nobody feels the need to respond. And I'm away in my own wee world. And like 2 seconds later, I realize that they've said that they've welcomed me. And I'm like, oh, so I turn and give a wee bow and I go, hi-oh, sort of the hello to them. And the two women behind the counter give a short laugh because I've actually said hello to them. But they then get super embarrassed because they're laughing at me, a customer, so they've insulted me. And so they then immediately apologise and bow to me. And I then go, no, it's okay. And I bow to them, which is the worst thing you can do because it then starts off this bowing competition of who can bow more to each other. And I just sort of, stop bowing and just sort of, come in, and left without having looked at anything or bought anything. I came back and you were like, I thought you were getting something. It was like, it didn't happen. And you're like, why? And recounted that. And you much like now, you're just laughing. You're just thinking, oh, Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, Japan.
Do you think you'll head back there maybe next year?
Yeah.
Once all this lockdown.
As soon as we can do a big trip, that's where we're going to go straight away.
Yeah. Something to look forward to, isn't it? Anyway, back to food. Yeah. Talk us through these pictures here, because I'm guessing the picture on the left is, that's nori, isn't it? A sheet of nori. And is it tempeh or tofu?
That is tofu. So it was like a chili cooked tofu, and in the back it is a Vietnamese coconut curry.
Oh, delicious.
And the other picture is your birthday sushi.
Birthday boy.
Yeah, your birthday sushi, which you're very happy with. That's something that we've really enjoyed doing because you can't go out anywhere. Oh yeah, the sashimi's on that plate as well.
Did you make that sushi? Oh, Teddy's off.
Hi, Teddy.
He's saying hello. He's being very polite, but kind of annoying. So is that sushi that you made yourself?
Yeah, that's homemade sushi.
Wow. So what's the fish that's at the front? Is it salmon? I don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
If it's not.
So the red stuff.
Yeah.
It's tomato. So it's like a big beef tomato or an heirloom tomato.
Oh right, and just to the left, the pink with the white stripes.
That's the sashimi.
Ah.
So that's the stuff that's done by the vegan junk food bar.
Oh, I see. Yum.
Yeah.
You can make me some of that if you like.
We'll come to Edinburgh. We'll sort you out.
No.
I'd love to do that. We're going to have to get you back on this show as well because
Ivy will sort you out.
You'll be going by the recipe book, Leo. But I'm the same. I just can't deviate away from that. Have you tried though, Leo? Have you tried to?
The problem is that it's with rolling up the nori sheets. I just get it wrong because you have to have quite a firm grip on it, but I'm too scared that I'm gonna just smoosh it all together, so they always kind of unravel.
But then I was very fortunate that a friend of my parents is Japanese, and I grew up around her, and she was like a surrogate mum to me. So every time I went to her house, she would be like, right, today we're trying blah. And she taught me how to do things like this. So I've had that extra little bit of tuition.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? Because I've put links down in the description box of where people can find you on Instagram, but you are on YouTube, as I mentioned earlier, and Twitter.
Yep. So we're a year of vegan eats, which is very quiet on YouTube, but it will be back when we can travel.
Yeah.
We have matching Instagram handles. I'm Kitchen Anarchist because I do not follow a recipe. Recipes are not my thing. And you are Kitchen Conformist because you conform to the recipe.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's the origin of those.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter as Kitchen Anarchist.
I'm not really on Twitter at all.
But you do also have, for the music, you've got Stubs and Shirts where you post pictures of all your band shirts, all of your gig tickets, all of your patches, all of your gig-related paraphernalia.
Yep.
Party Cannon, a go-go.
Party Cannon.
It's so good to see you both.
It's lovely to see you as well.
Lovely to see you.
We will keep in touch, obviously, when we're not doing video streams, but we'd love to have you back on for another chat another time if you're up for that. An hour has whizzed by. It's gone quickly. Hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Very, very much so. When you started to do the wrap-up thing, it was it's been an hour.
I know, yeah. Crazy. I'm starting
to alarm.
Getting very hot in here. I need to open the window. I'm stuck in the office and it's sweltering. I don't know if I'm presuming it's the same in Edinburgh. It's quite hot up there as well.
It's a bit grey and overcast today, though. So
it was this morning, but yeah.
Well, stay safe. Look after yourselves.
You too. Thank you for having us.
And check out these Leo and Ivy's links down below. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll be back soon. Good to see you both.
Bye.
See you soon.